Good evening, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero with this latest weather update on this storm that's going to be coming through and causing quite a bunch of problems over the next couple of days. So let's jump right in and take a look at this. And we're going to be starting off with the National Weather Service has some main points that they wanted to bring up. So let's talk about that. So here, we're seeing heavy rain, 1.5 to 3 inches of rain, which is quite a lot of rain for just a short period of time. Strong winds, we have 25 to 35 mile per hour sustained winds with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Coastal impacts, so anywhere along the Jersey Shore, the South Shore of Long Island, even going through Connecticut and Massachusetts, all the way up through Maine. We could see 1 to 2 feet of storm surge coming in and 3 feet along AGL. So this is where we could be having some problems along the coast if you're not prepared for any kind of flooding like that. Now, after the storm rolls through, it's not really part of the storm, but it's the aftermath. We have Arctic air coming in, a post-Arctic front with snow showers. So as soon as the bulk of the rain is done, and this is where it looks like the heaviest part of the rain and the cold that's coming in, the Arctic air, they're not going to be at the same time, which is a good thing if you don't want snow and you don't want the headache. Because if they did come at the same time, like last week we were talking about that on my live stream, you could be seeing anywhere from 1 to 3 feet of snow. Now it's not that. It's 1 to 3 inches of rain instead, with some snow showers, some wraparound snow showers, and the cold. So minimum wind chills going down to -5. Some of the overnight lows that we're seeing throughout this, or I'll show you, getting down to like 10 or 11 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's really cold. So this is available on the National Weather Service website. And I would encourage everybody to read through this. It's really cool to see that they're actually putting this out, and I'll be posting this on my social media platforms in a little bit, or it actually might be up already posted before this video goes out onto the YouTubes. All right, so now let's take a look at some of the watches, warnings, and advisories, and there's quite a bit here. So most of the area is in a high wind a wind advisory. There are some areas that are in this darker orangey color and a high wind warning, but the wind advisory, let's take a quick peek at this. Again, this is kind of what we were talking about before, where we're seeing sustained 20 to 30 mile per hour winds with gusts up to 55 miles per hour. That is quite a lot. And this is going to be from 10 p.m. this evening until 10 p.m. Friday. That's really where the bulk of this storm is going to be, tonight to tomorrow night. And it's going to be leaving Saturday morning. So this is a multi-day storm. And that's the wind. We do have flood watches out in the green here. Coastal flood watch or statements, because it's not really a warning for coastal flood. And going up north, so we have Sullivan, Ulster, not really Dutchess because it's too far east, but Sullivan and Ulster, winter weather advisory. That's going to be right at or just below the freezing point, so there could be a little bit more snow in this. So a mixed precipitation and additional snow accumulation of up to 4 inches and ice accumulations with a light glaze. Imagine that 4 inches of snow with a light glaze of ice on top of that. That's what just maybe like 40 miles north going into New York City, maybe up and even further north up to like say 60 miles outside of New York City. That's where it could be really treacherous with the snow and the ice there. So up to 4 inches of ice, 4 inches of snow with a glaze of ice and 45 mile per hour winds. That's also going to cause power outages. And this is where we could see numerous power outages throughout the entire tri-state region. That's really the only area we're going to be getting winter weather throughout the New York City area. But for those that live outside or north of the New York City area, you could be seeing a little bit more of the snow and ice out of this. All right, so now moving on here, let's take a look at the radar. So this is a split system. Originally last week when we were talking, these two systems, these two separate systems, were going to phase together. And when that phasing happened, that's what brought the cold and the heavy precipitation together. That's not happening. And if we look at the radar, we can see that's the case. We have the split here where we have the heavy rain. This is what's going to be coming through our area overnight tonight. Then there's going to be a gap. And in this gap, this is where we're going to still see heavy winds, strong winds. And the temperature is going to start to drop, but it's not going to drop just yet. The second half of this line right here, that's where the cold air is. That's the Arctic front. Once that makes its way through, that's where we're going to be seeing the drastic drop in temperatures. So you have to prepare tonight for any kind of strong freezing that we're going to be seeing. Well, this is where if you have maybe hoses outside, garden hoses, sprinklers out there, you definitely want to either disconnect them and just put them away for the winter, or somehow just cover them, because that could cause the sprinkler head there to actually freeze and break. So you want to take out anything that has to do with irrigation and shut it down, prepare it for the winter today or tomorrow, before the Arctic air comes in overnight Friday into Saturday. And that's that second half. All right, so taking a look here at the satellite, now we see the thick clouds are in, and that's going to be the case for the next couple of days. We're going to have this system that's causing the thicker clouds to come through, but you can also see a little gap in there. That's the gap between the two systems since they did not phase together. And we see that on the surface analysis here too. Low pressure here, low pressure here. And you can see here this almost due north isobar system. So when we're seeing these isobars pretty much north to south, that's where you see a lot of cold air coming in. So that's bringing in this Canada Arctic air coming straight south behind the low pressure system. And as this system makes its way through, this is really what we're going to be seeing for the next couple of days after the system makes its way out. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we could be seeing this really cold air, although Saturday looks like it's going to be the coldest of them all. All right, on tropical tidbits here for the weather forecast models. So they're actually initializing pretty well, which I am glad for. So here we're seeing those pretty tight isobars, and this is for 8 p.m. tonight. And the heavy rain is already in place, so you got to be expecting the heavy rain to be coming up in the next couple of hours. So strong winds, heavy rain. Be prepared for power outages with battery backup systems and a good supply of water if you have anything like that, or food. Make sure if you need to get into the fridge with a power outage, minimize the amount of time that you're getting in and out of the fridge like that. All right, so let's take a look on the GFS here. It's kind of showing what I was talking about before, where the heavy rain makes its way through. There's a little gap, and then the next system makes its way through. And that is the Arctic front there. This is something where you look at the isobars and you see this little kinkiness in the bars. So that kink is right where the front is. That Arctic air is coming in right behind it. And this is where we're going to be seeing again the coldest air of the year, it looks like. And then it clears out. The actual precipitation clears out, it looks like, by overnights Friday into Saturday. So Saturday looks like a pretty nice looking day, I should say, because it's going to be a bitterly cold day. This is going to feel like a true Arctic winter. And then it stays clear through Sunday and Monday, but the wind stays with us really till Monday, where the next high pressure comes in. It looks like it's still going to be cold, but at least it's going to be clear. All right, let's move on here to pivotal weather and the European. So that's showing kind of the same thing. The heaviest rain is overnight tonight before dawn tomorrow. But still, those tightly packed isobars, the pressure gradient, means it's going to be very windy. Then we have a gap by the time we get to the morning on Friday. So when you wake up tomorrow, it might be pretty good. It's still going to be breezy. And it's not going to be as cold just yet until we get to the afternoon hours. And that's where the Arctic front actually comes through. And then going overnight Friday into Saturday, very windy. Look at the thickness getting down to 510 decameters. The 540 line's kind of like the freezing, so we're well below that in terms of the thicknesses. All right, so going through Saturday, it looks pretty clear out there. Again, there may be some lake effect snow with this such cold air as it comes over the lake. You may see some lake effect snow, but I don't see that at all coming through beyond the Great Lakes region. So going central New York, tri-state region, anything east of that, no snow. And then it stays clear, and it stays windy, and it stays cold through Sunday. And then Monday, the breeziness comes down a little bit because we have our high pressure system going back in place, but it's still cold. So for the next couple of days, we're going to be dealing with some really cold weather. All right, moving on to the icon back on Tropical Tidbits here. Let's see if it aligns with the last couple of models. So it's showing the heaviest rain overnight. That gap, a little bit in the morning. And then a little bit more rain. Not really as much snow. This one is bringing the snow line a bit more north. But again, once this Arctic air comes through, there is a chance we could be seeing snow showers to end the storm on this wraparound snow. And then it stays cold and windy Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, there's the high pressure. All right, so that was pretty much in line. Moving on now to the 12-kilometer NAM. There's the heavy rain starting at about, say, midnight, 1 a.m. And it stays on and off heavy rain throughout all of the overnight. There's that gap I was talking about. So this is about 8 and 9 a.m. where there's be a bit of a clearing. And then we're going to get some more rain and then finish off a little bit of snow showers with the drastic drop in temperature and the wind that's going to come through. Now, the NAM doesn't go that far out. It only goes 84 hours out. Let's see. So through Saturday, again, they're still showing the lake effect snow there. So that's something to keep in mind if you are up in that region. And clear skies for the tri-state region, but still looks very windy with that high pressure gradient. And then through Sunday night, same kind of thing where we are still seeing some of the lake effect snow, but it could extend a little bit more to maybe the Albany region and past the Finger Lakes. All right, taking a look now at the 3-kilometer NAM. And then we got one more forecast model after this. So this is the highest resolution of all the forecast models we've looked at so far. And this is showing here very periodic heavy rain. So that's all the yellows and the oranges and the pinks. Now the pink there doesn't mean snow. The pink there actually means strong downpours. So we'll be seeing that in those overnight hours. So by the time you wake up tomorrow, just dealing with the tail end of that. There's that gap I was talking about. And then a little bit more rain coming into the afternoon before the Arctic air comes in. And then once it does, this is showing a little bit more of a burst of some snow showers, maybe moderate snow showers. I don't think it'll be that intense, but still be prepared for maybe a snowy coating. And then beyond that, there's the really cold air and the very windy conditions overnight Friday into Saturday. And then Sunday looks the same, where so all of these models are in pretty good alignment for the next couple of days. All right, the last one here, which is the HRRR. So this one is showing about 8 p.m. Again, it's starting. And there's those bits of heavy rain overnight. There's the gap by Friday morning around 7, 8 in the morning. And then the afternoon by about noon or 1 p.m. The next line of some heavy rain coming through. And then after that, some bits of snow showers, but then that drastic drop in temperature and the strong winds coming in after that. That looks like it's going to last through Saturday. Kind of like we were talking about before. And that's as far, excuse me, that's as far out as this forecast model goes. All right, so that's in terms of the precipitation. Now I'm just going to show you some temperature stuff real quick. So here, it looks like, oh, am I on? No, I am correct. Let's go here. All right. So the overnight temperatures tonight, not too bad, staying in the mid to upper 30s near the coast, getting in the low to mid 30s once you get a little bit more inland. And tomorrow, look at this, with the rain, the temperatures actually be increasing overnight tonight. So as of this recording, I have 39 degrees. And actually the Apple Watch shows a little bit of a thunderstorm at 7 p.m. is what it's saying. So we shall see what happens. But overnight tonight, with that heavy rain coming through, the temperature is going to go up overnight from the mid 30s to the low 50s. And that's going to be the high for tomorrow. And then there's that really like blast. It actually looks like an ominous like shape coming through. There's the line there that brings the freezing. So that's about 2 p.m. After 2 p.m., there's that drastic drop in temperatures. But the temperatures just to be steadily going down through the afternoon Friday, through overnight Friday, through Saturday morning. Right here, the lowest it looks like we're going to be seeing single digits everywhere. This is not the feels like temperature. This is the actual like air temperature. So getting down to 0 degrees once you get a little bit more upstate New York. Staying in the single digits around the tri-state region there. So anywhere between 5 and 10 degrees by the time you wake up Saturday. And then the high for Saturday. Let's see. The high for Saturday looks like it's only about maybe 12 degrees. So staying pretty cold. Sunday's high is getting up to maybe the mid-20s. And it's a little bit warmer going into Monday. But still, Saturday is going to be very cold. I cannot stress that enough. You have to get prepared for this now. All right. Let's take a look a little bit at the extended here. So once we get past that Arctic air, Saturday, Sunday, Monday gets a little bit better, back into the mid-30s there. Let's take a look here. The same thing. Once you get a bit more inland, so say like Newark there, the high for Saturday is about 21 instead of about 15 degrees, so a little bit warmer. 29 for Sunday, 35 for Monday. So it does get a little bit better. And then after that, it looks like through most of the week next week, we're in the mid to upper 30s. And then by the end of the week next week, we're in the low 40s. So we have quite an Arctic blast coming through. All right. So just to wrap this up, I want to emphasize that this is going to be quite a system. We are going to be dealing with heavy rain, very strong winds that are going to be causing a lot of power outages. And then we're going to have an Arctic blast right after it. So any rain that was left over from this system is going to be freezing. And this is a lot of the coastal statements that have been out. So if you don't have it already, I know I've talked about it in other videos. I would say have some sort of NOAA weather radio so you can listen to all of the weather statements so you can stay up to date even if you have no power. This is something good to have. So this will always be going even if the internet goes down. So that's something I would definitely say invest in. Is some sort of NOAA weather radio like that. And the freezing, it's going to be treacherous. I would say if you can, I know it is Christmas, but get your traveling done early. Have all your traveling done by either tonight or by tomorrow morning. And then I wouldn't travel until, say, Sunday. So that might work out because Christmas Day is Sunday. But if you can wait, the longer you wait into next week to actually travel, the better it'll be. All right. So that wraps up this video. Thank you all for joining. Please stay safe throughout this storm. This is going to be a treacherous storm, as I mentioned, so you have to take your precautions now. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. Feel free to hit that little bell icon to get notified whenever I upload videos like this, or hit that subscribe button so you can get all the latest weather information, whether I do it on a live stream with gaming, upload a video like this, or the electrified weatherman part with the electric car and the electric motorcycle. I'm going to have some very interesting videos coming out with that. Again, have a great rest of your evening, everybody. Stay safe. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero, and I'll see you all in that next video.